Hello, everybody. This is the Straight Up Warlords. I am your implacable taskmaster, Gem. With me is the mistress with the stubborn tenacity. That is Cat,
Hello, everyone.
and the disgustingly resilient Diesel.
Hello there.
And today we are going to go for a bit more of a structured episode than we normally do.
What?
I know, right?
What? We're doing structure now?
I know. It's such a strange thing to do.
We
But,
should just call this podcast Tangent.
we should. But yeah, so because of our campaign, we're going to be doing a deep dive into each particular faction that is taking part in it. So, as I'm the host, I am going to start with my faction, which are the Chaos Space Marines. So, the Chaos Space Marines come in a number of different flavors. We actually have two of the different flavors as part of this campaign, but these particular ones are the, apart from the Slanesh ones, are the non-mono deity ones. Because currently you can play Emperor's Children as Chaos Space Marines, but they have special rules.
So at the moment, Chaos Space Marines Codex, it's coming out, but Chaos Space Marines hasn't got its own codex yet for 10th edition.
Yeah.
So when the book comes out, they'll have different detachments, and those detachments will follow a certain theme, i.e. being like one of them will be for Emperor's Children, one of them Iron Warriors, blah blah blah. But they won't be specific. They'll just be detachments, but they'll clearly be for a chapter.
Yeah, I mean, it's also the fact that there are rumors that there will be a Emperor's Children codex, either at the end of this year or at the end of the edition. One of the they're saying
I think if it's going to come out, I'm going to say they're going to do exactly the same they did with World Eaters and Angron, and it'll be the end of the edition.
Yeah, but they said that they are going to do a sort of range refresh for Emperor's Children, but some rumors are saying it's the end of this year, and some are saying it's the end of the edition. I agree with you; it's probably the end of the edition.
Yeah, there's not a lot around the lore about Fulgrim yet. There's no there's been a couple of hints that he's back with Abaddon in the 13th Crusade, but there's no tidbits that he's coming out of his he's coming out anywhere so far. So I think there definitely will be, especially since I don't know if you saw it. They dropped pre-heresy, Horus Heresy model of him, the brand new model, and it looks fucking amazing.
It does look amazing, although
it looks sick.
I will say it. He's supposed to be a sexy snake man, and that one doesn't look all that sexy to me.
He's only just turned. Only just turned in that one. So, and there is also the whole Fulgrim thing where it's like at the beginning of the heresy when he turns, it's like, oh, it's actually not really Fulgrim. It's a demon that's pretending to be Fulgrim, and then he puts Fulgrim into a painting, and then they torture it, and then somehow Fulgrim's like. They're torturing what they think is the demon Fulgrim,
but it's actually
pretending,
Fulgrim,
and then Fulgrim gets off of being tortured and says it's him the entire time. It's so weird.
It's really weird because that story, the end of Fulgrim to that story, there's something that happens that is never explained. It's either the case that the original story was poorly written, so that you believe that Fulgrim was in the painting, but maybe it was the demon from the sword that was in the painting. In which case, then, that might be the reason why Lucius believes that the demon in the painting was Fulgrim.
But there's also not just that. There's a whole thing with Lorgar, where Lorgar straight up accuses Fulgrim of not being Fulgrim. He straight up says, "You're not my brother." And I see through the act, and he's like, "I should kill this thing immediately." Lorgard, the word bearers dude, says that.
Lorgard, the man who worships demons, is threatening to murder a demon.
The one that knows the most out of everybody about how demons work, and he straight up says, "You're not here. You're not Fulgrim. You're a fucking demon possessing his body. I'ma kill you."
Yeah.
And he's only stopped because Horus is like, honestly, dude, Fulgrim is a little bit of a bitch. This guy's on my side. I don't know if actual Fulgrim would be, so just chill.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. I still love the idea that it's actually a demon that's taken possession of him and put his soul into the painting. And it's still there. And which I would love. Or it's destroyed his soul completely somehow, and that's why we've got we've got Clone Fulgrim.
Yeah. Well, Clone Fulgrim's currently on Somnolence. Anyway.
Yes. Because the Pokeballs don't lie.
Yeah, well, that, and also, what was it? Fabulous Bill couldn't control it.
Yeah, basically, he was like, "You want to trade? This might evolve if we trade it. I've got a metal coat. Let's see what he turns into."
Yeah. But yeah, so, like I said, the Chaos Space Marines come in 9 different flavors. if you want to go that far. You've got, well, 10 technically, actually.
Well, sort of, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, 3 of them are their own separate thing, being the Deathguard, the Thousand Suns, and the World Eaters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes sense why Emperor's Children are absolutely going to get their own range. The Big Four.
The Big Four. I do believe that after Fulgrim and the Emperor's Children get their own range, then it will be Lorgar next. However much I want it to be Perturabo, I believe it will be Lorgar next.
I don't know. But honestly, Perturabo has had a lot more suggestions that he's about than Lorgar has.
Yeah, but then Perturabo has had a lot more suggestions that he's about than Fulgrim has, and we know that Fulgrim's coming out next.
True. True. But then Fulgrim, I think, is a special case because they're obviously want to do the main 4 factions first.
They have to do the main 4, yeah.
I will say this: if Dawn comes back, fucking Purty's coming back. I think that's what they're going to save it for. When Dawn comes back, Purty is instantly going to be like, "The fuck you say," and come out of retirement.
Perturabo coming back in his demon form that is most definitely just a giant obliterator.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. The books have said he's a dreadnought, not an obliterator. So I don't care. I think either way he will be dope as fuck. He seems to be something different because they have said that he's a demon Primarch. Several people have gone, "Oh, he's a demon Primarch now," but I believe there's some Iron Warriors things that have said he's not totally a demon. He's a dreadnought, and he's basically somehow put himself in a dreadnought because of what I think Fulgrim sold his soul or something, or used part of his soul to ascend.
So when I have read this in Angel Exterminatus, Fulgrim wounded him in a way that damaged his soul.
Yes, that's the one.
So
he was slowly dying.
He was slowly dying. It's a bit like what Horus did to himself to become the version of himself, the ascended version of himself.
Yes.
Except Purty's was a much slower process, whereas Horus's was a much quicker process that he was burning out by the Siege of Terror.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's Purty, and he seems to have gone, "Fuck you," and thrown himself into a dreadnought to stop it, so I don't know. Maybe he's something different inside that dreadnought. Maybe he's changed inside it, but he's pretty much Robo-Man now.
maybe it's not the actual Purty, but it's clone Purty from Fabulous Bill's Flesh Labs, and he managed to escape the slaughter of all the Primarch clones that I believe
being the only competent one.
yeah, being the only
He's
competent
like,
one of
everyone's like, well, we'll fucking fight this, and he's just crawling through vents like he's just fucking in an Among Us fucking game.
he's not Alfarius. He would have fought his way out, but he would have done it, smartly, like using artillery rather than just going up to someone and trying to.
Kurz that did that? That Kurz, I think, is the one that sneaks through vents. Because Kurz was sneaking through vents on the Rock, wasn't he? When he got captured by the lion, and he was just fucking sneaking around.
It wasn't the Rock at the time, but it was the lion's flagship at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was sneaking around in the vents, and he was contained according to the Dark Angels until he wasn't contained because he managed to.
He was murdering people in the corridors. What are they talking about? Contained?
Yeah. He was contained on the ship.
He was there. They know he didn't escape into the void.
At one point, he was contained into a certain section of the ship, and then they got to Ultramar, and the lion had to talk to Robute. So the lion went down to Ultramar, to Macragge, and thus all of the safeguards that were in place were then laxed for some reason, and he managed to escape the section of the ship that he was stuck on. And then he managed to activate the drop pods. A drop pod assault on Macragge by the Dark Angels, because nobody in the Dark Angels thought, you know what we should probably do? We should probably make it so that none of the other Primarchs can activate this, and only the Lion can. He literally kisses the pad that allows them to activate the drop pod assault, and because he's a Primarch, therefore has some of the DNA that the Lion has, he is able to just set it off.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
Anyway, again, tangent.
Tangent, yeah.
So
at least it's about Chaos Space Marines.
It's Chaos Space Marines, yeah.
Somewhat. But yeah, so obviously you've got your Black Legion, who used to be Sons of Horus, but are now a mixture of everyone. There's Alpha Legion, who are the sneaky infiltratey boys. Emperor's children, but we won't go into detail with them because hopefully eventually they'll get their own.
It's probably best we don't go into detail with Emperor's children.
Yeah.
Given what they get up to, it's probably best they're the Slaanesh faction, everyone. If you don't know what Slaanesh is, don't Google it.
Yeah. just don't. So the next one I'm going to talk about is Night Lords. Thousand Suns, they are a monodominant. The World Eaters.
The World Eaters. The Word Bearers.
Creations of Bile. Red Corsairs. Iron Warriors. The Petulant Man Children.
We'll segue back somehow.
Yeah. Iron Warriors, they are led by Pedrabo. They're still, again, it's one of those things where they've changed the law so that all the legions are back to being mostly legion strength, or if they're not legion strength.
Really?
But they're obviously they're all different levels of it. So yeah, Alpha Legion, nobody knows whether they are all.
Well, it seems like they're actually under strength. Yeah, Alpha Legion. They're massively under strength.
Yeah.
So they're under strength now, but the Night Lords, for instance, are now coming back into the throw of Legion strength.
Yeah.
After struggling for so long.
Yeah. Iron Warriors are probably the backbone of the Black Legion because they can actually be trusted to carry out objectives. Because the Iron Warriors whilst they do want to be powerful, just don't care about using the chaos gods or backstabbing people. They just want to.
I think as well, they're
siege.
probably the Iron Warriors are probably most in line with the Black Legion's ideals because they just want to see the Imperium burn.
Yeah,
That's like, that's what they want. That's what Black Legion wants. They probably look down on the Black Legion because of all the god, like they're using all the gods and they're using demons and the power. Fucking disgusting. All you need from a demon is to stick it in a machine. Fuck you. But
you don't make deals with demons. You trick them and put them in metal boxes.
Yeah, exactly. So they're probably more aligned to the Black Legion than any other faction.
Yeah. But yeah, the Iron Warriors, Perturabo really speaks to me in the fact that he's just that much of a dick. I do enjoy dickish characters who are dickish but then get things done.
Well, my friend, you are in the right universe.
I know. He is a dick to everyone. And even when he's like being as nice as he can be,
that's air quotes right there on the word nice.
Yeah.
He is tolerating someone.
The nicest thing he ever did for someone, to be fair, was thrown back in his face. And it was for Magnus. Magnus asked him to make something. And he knew exactly what it was when Magnus asked him to make it. But he waited until Magnus turned up to pick it up. And he went, "Oh, so what is it?" And Magnus was like, "Oh, yeah, it's this thing for looking into the warp." And Perturabo was like, "You do realise that Dad said, don't do this." And Magnus was like, "Yeah, but, what Dad doesn't know won't hurt him." And Perturabo just goes, okay. Puts it on the table and smashes it with a hammer. And Magnus is like, the fuck?
It was more to show Magnus a point.
Yeah, it was making a point to Magnus, but it was one of the kindest things he ever did for Magnus, or for anyone, because he made it to prove a point, but did it in a way that wasn't supposed to actually hurt him.
Yeah, it was he felt the best way to tell Magnus basically to stop fucking around with warp sorcery was to make this thing go, this is what you want, you can't have it, bang.
Yeah.
Like he wanted to show that you can't have it, full stop. Yeah. That's what it was. Which is sort of like because he is looking out for Magnus is the thing. One of the very few people that do.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
he likes Magnus. He wants
he
Magnus. Does like Magnus, he sees Magnus as his friend. He's probably closest to Magnus out of all of the Primarchs.
Was he not close to Ferris?
I mean, the problem is that Ferris doesn't have that much lore.
Was that Fulgrim that was close to Ferris?
Fulgrim was close to Ferris, yeah.
Oh, maybe it's Fulgrim.
I think Fulgrim and Perturabo were sort of butting heads because they both sort of represent the same thing.
Yeah.
A bit.
And I remember when so he got sick of Fulgrim real quick.
Oh, yeah.
He was so sick of Fulgrim right quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did like Magnus.
Yeah.
I remember liking Magnus. Fucking love Perty.
But yeah, hard carry the heresy.
Hard carry. Yeah. Like, Jesus.
Pretty much everything that succeeded. One of the only things that I've read that the Iron Warriors failed at was the Battle of Thal.
Is that the one where
they're against? They're against Imperial Fists. It was a space battle. The Imperial Fists were
okay.
It was a detachment of Imperial Fists that were on their way to Isfahan for Isfahan 5.
Okay.
And they got becalmed in the warp, and so came out of the warp in this a sector called Foul,
Yeah.
and then after Isvan, the Iron Warriors went to Foul to destroy the Imperial Fist there, and the Imperial Fist managed to defend against them and then break out and get to McCrag.
Okay.
Um,
I thought there's another one that springs to mind. I think they eventually won, but it was against a Xenos species. Was it the Hurok?
the Thrud.
Throd. You're right. The Throd is one I'm thinking, where they have the ability to age people.
Yes, and that's why Dantiok has to wear that mask.
Yeah.
The most based Iron Warrior.
I
I,
don't know
I'm,
much about him.
I'm not gonna lie. The best Iron Warriors character so far that I've read is a loyalist.
Oh, is that the one? It's not the guy that was bros with the Imperial Fist.
Yeah, no, not
Oh,
Imperial.
that is him.
Yeah, Imperial. Yeah, it's him.
Oh, it is him. That best bros, and that. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, actually, yeah, he is a G. They were bros for life. Yeah, it's like because it's said that if Perturabo wasn't such a little bitch, like a fucking man child, that's how he would have been with Dawn. That's how their friendship would have been if he wasn't such a petulant bastard. I mean, to be fair to Perturabo, he does constantly stare into the Eye of Terror. Which I feel like is a bit of an oversight.
It's not that he stares into the Eye of Terror, is that he constantly feels the Eye of Terror staring at him.
Oh, okay.
And so he's constantly aware of where it is.
Yeah.
And so
the point being, like, if you've got the Eye of Terror constantly staring at you, did you really ever have a chance to be a good guy? Like,
no.
You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
It's like that's a bit predetermined. I feel like. I mean, that's a pretty fucking heavy mutation to have.
Yeah.
That and the learning shit instantly, so he's constantly bored.
He's constantly bored because he wants to learn. That's the thing. He wants to learn. He wants to be doing things. He wants to be doing new things all the time, but he can't because as soon as he does something new, he learns about it instantly and then gets bored of it and then has to find something else. Hence why it took him a couple of days to learn everything from the Mechanicus when he was told to learn everything from the Mechanicus.
And the next quickest person was actually Dawn, who still took a couple of months.
Yeah.
And how quick it was! It literally, Perturabo sat there. He was like, "Bring me all your books." And he read them all in literally 2 days without sleeping. As I know everything.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. I'm bored. Like the man could just—he's autism weaponized.
Yeah.
Just
Perturabo and Dawn are both two different versions of autism weaponized.
Yeah, basically.
Which is why they should have got on and they don't.
Everyone's like, "Oh, you've both got the same thing. You can be friends." Fuck this guy. Fuck
Yeah,
literally.
but if you said that to both of them in two different rooms with it all soundproof to the point where neither of them could hear the response, you would get the exact same response from both of them.
Yeah, just
I do believe that there are points in the heresy where Dawn's like, maybe I should have treated Perturabo a bit better.
I mean, if only the Emperor had that outlook, huh?
Yeah.
Like, and I've heard people that are like, "Oh, well, the reason he was such like a dick to half his sons and not the other was he already knew the heresy was coming." And I'm just like, dude, that's such a cop-out answer. He was a dick because he knew people would betray him. And I'm like, but by doing so, he made sure that people would betray him. Yeah. And at the end of the day, they're still his sons. Like, he was still a dick.
It's one of those things where, you know, you can make excuses all you want, but by saying he knew that he was going to be betrayed, so he made sure that he picked the ones who would betray him. It still doesn't change the fact that, you know, if he had picked to, you know, make sure that Angron didn't.
How about he could pick the ones that maybe betrayed him, or like he could just be nice to them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? He could have just done things completely. He could have like helped Angron.
yeah.
He absolutely he could have absolutely helped Angron. He absolutely had the power to help him.
To be fair, in Master of Mankind, I think it is. There is a story where he does try to fix Angron and then reveals, I have absolutely no idea how to fix Angron.
Well, yeah, but it's too late by then.
Yeah, but it's too late by then.
I mean, when he pulled him off his planet, he could have done something. In that immediate moment, he already had the butcher's nails. I'm not saying that he could go on to save his life. That's not what I'm saying. He could have saved his people, which is the whole point of Angron. He could have absolutely done that. He can't do anything about the butcher's nails, sure, but he could have definitely done that and showed some level of empathy instead of, just completely discarding him.
And even if he didn't do that, he could have done something to, punish the Nucerians.
Yes, something. He could have done anything differently. And even with the butcher's nails,
anything other than what he did, he had the power to do so.
Even with the butcher's nails, there's the point after that where he goes, "I can't help him, so I'm just not going to try," and that's it. He's like, Angron's already dead. Throw Angron at a problem. Let him go to town being a berserker, killing everyone. And if he dies, that's it. He will die eventually. Whatever. Like that's his entire thing. Dude.
He made the mistake because now Angron cannot die, or in what really is the case, Angron dies over and over and over again.
And Khorne pulling that boss move in the new lore, where it's like, when he dies, he gets a slither of peace.
Yes.
Which is actually a thing between all the berserkers with butcher's nails actually get that if they reach a certain height of battle, that they become serene and peaceful in their own mind. Obviously, in reality, they're butchering literally everyone. In a berserker-filled rage, but that's the point. They give you a slither of that and that's what he's constantly chasing because that's the only measure of peace he can ever get. You're like, dude, you could have just helped this man. You could have just done it.
You could have done even the smallest thing.
You could just one gesture, one gesture of empathy would have been better than what you did.
Yeah.
Oh, just okay. Angron's one of the only Primarchs that is just was set in stone from everyone else's actions. He did do some things wrong, but I think by the time he's doing things wrong, it's already clear he's mentally degraded and really not in control of himself.
It's not just that. Yeah, by the time that he did things wrong, it's not just that he mentally degraded, but also the fact that he'd already been quite clearly just abandoned by everyone apart from Lorgar.
Apart from Lorgar and Khan, they're the only two that are trying to keep his shit together.
Yeah, and then Lorgar. Well, to be fair, his legion, the entirety of his legion, does care about Angron.
Yeah,
because where all the Psykers were actually actively trying to stop Lorgar from turning him into basically a giant bloodthirster.
Oh, really? I didn't realize the World Eaters were trying to do that.
It was the World Eaters Psykers, and literally because every other World Eater fucking hated them, they were literally there was only 8 of them left, and they all sacrificed. They all basically sacrificed themselves. As
they try to stop it, right, and then Angron becomes a demon Primarch and butchers them, I believe, doesn't he?
His becoming of a demon Primarch causes them to literally die on the spot. They literally explode into blood rain.
Oh god!
But they also they were also dying in the process of trying to do this thing, this communion.
Oh, god damn! Anyway, enough about Angron. Back to your worldies. Back to Pomeroy.
Back to the Iron Warriors.
Back to Iron Warriors. We need to focus. We have like ADHD when it comes to.
Yes,
We need to keep on track.
I believe we're on 3 hours now. I'm going to probably have to edit this at some point to make it a little bit shorter.
What the hell are you
might
even going to cut out of this?
We'll have to cut out some of the tangents and release them as separate episodes. But yeah, so Iron Warriors, obviously, again, a lot of the old lore, like it keeps changing who is responsible for making each different demon engine. A lot of the old lore says Iron Warriors were, then it's been put towards past the Vashtor. Vashtor is the most recent one, but like other times it's been like, oh, Lorgar made this one, Mortarion made this one. Like Mortarion making the ones that the Deathguard use makes sense.
Yeah, the Deathguard having their own staff makes it, because they are specifically Nurgle demons that are in them.
Yeah, it makes 100% sense that the Deathguard made the Blight drones and the
haulers and the tanks and
the tanks and
stuff.
That all makes sense. I'm not gonna argue against that because that's their stuff, and because nobody else has access to it, it makes even more sense.
Yeah, exactly.
But like things like
things like Forge Fiends, Venom Crawlers, all that jazz. I'm straight up like, well, that just screams Iron Warriors.
Yeah, it screams Iron Warriors. But apparently, Forge Fiends were made by Lorgar.
What?
That's my response to that as well. There's an excerpt in some lore bit that says the Lorgar made them. They're literally siege engines on legs.
Okay, but there's actually, I don't know if you've read it. Is it Brutal Cunning? It's Brutal Cunning. Yeah, it's the Orc book. Have you read Brutal Cunning?
I haven't yet. No, I've got I think 2 credits on Audible, so I might get that one and War Boss.
Because Uftak, who is the main character in it, has just actually got a model. He looks sick, actually. They just released a model for him. But it's Orcs versus Mechanicus on the planet. But the Mechanicus are obviously having Mechanicus political issues where they're trying to politics each other. But in between that, one of the Magos has actually been working. He doesn't know it, but he's been working with an Iron Warrior, Tech Marine.
I think you brought this up before in conversation.
Warpsmith, and why I bring it up again is because that Warpsmith, what he creates is essentially a massive Forge Fiend.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I never even questioned it. I was like, yeah, that's so Iron Warriors. Yeah. Especially of a Warpsmith. That's so Iron. They have Warpsmiths. I feel like the Warpsmith is like the Iron Warriors thing. I get that other people have them, but I feel like it was originally a Iron Warriors thing. So, Warpsmith.
The Iron Warriors originally had a rank called a Warsmith.
Oh, okay.
That was sort of like their captain, but a lot of them were also sort of Tech Marines.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There was the odd 1 or 2 that weren't, like if you've read Angel Exterminatus, the one that gets promoted to Warsmith in that book, he never turns into a Tech Marine, but like pretty much all of the other ones are.
Yeah, they're the classic like Warpsmith, like Tech Marines are their whole thing.
Yeah.
I think them and the Iron Hands are probably like the Tech Marine thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, apart from Mechanicus, but within Space Marines, those 2 factions are just Tech Marines to me. They're just all mechanical, all about. And then you take it one step further with the Iron Warriors, where they're now Warpsmiths because they're dabbling in summoning demons and trapping them in engines and things.
I will say that my warband that I've created for this are still using the Warsmith rank for the leader.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But they also have a Warpsmith as well.
Yeah, okay, that's under him.
Yeah, under him is one of his advisors.
Well, it's like the Deathguard. they like in their war bands, the highest rank is actually not like war leader or anything. It's siege master
Yeah,
because of the
yeah.
that's what the rank was in old heresy, and they
Yeah.
still have that.
I remember that being a thing in the uh, Flight of the Eisenstein,
Yes, yeah,
because I believe Garrow was a siege master, wasn't he?
yes, he was. Yes.
Yeah, and well, like all of the main characters for the Deathguard, like the main characters were all siege masters.
Yeah, yeah. So they still have that. So yeah, I think it makes total sense.
Yeah. So I've named my warband. So I'm sure there's going to be someone somewhere who's going to be like, "Oh, that's an official name," or "Oh, that's the name of my warband," or whatever. Because there's
It doesn't matter. It
there's
doesn't
millions
matter
of
for the.
there's
This is
millions of people out there. You can have the same name of the
this
warband with the same color scheme,
this
and it could be completely different things.
this is our narrative.
This is our narrative.
Plus, we had a big discussion at the beginning. Time
Yes.
is wishy-washy.
Yeah.
Maybe they are the same warband. Maybe this is a different period.
Yes.
Maybe it's afterwards with new leaders. Maybe it's before with new leaders or different characters. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. But the name of my warband is Sons of the Soul Forge.
Okay.
So my lore for them was that they were part of a different warband during the War of Rust and Ruin. And the Warsmith managed to... Well, the Warsmith wasn't a Warsmith during the War of Rust and Ruin, was a sort of much lower ranked member, but managed to pull together the warband after the defeat and managed to get them to retreat. And
he was basically a lower member, but managed to retreat. And on the retreat, he's sort of like pulled the retreating members together to form a warband.
Yes.
Okay.
Obviously, he then went to again. This is my personal headcanon that Perturabo is in the Soul Forge, so they went to the Soul Forge.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. And basically dedicated themselves to both Perturabo and the Soul Forge at the same time. Hence why they're Sons of the Soul Forge rather than like Sons of Perturabo, because that's just the Iron Warriors.
Yeah.
And so then were basically reconsecrated at that moment. And the Warsmith, who I've named Romex, Rommex. It is a generic Chaos Lord, but I'm thinking of using a Legion Praetor model.
Okay.
For him. I think the main issue is that the Legion Praetor model that I kind of want to use looks like it's going to be a pain in the ass to modify to actually look like the rules for the character. And I don't want a bare head, and the only images they have are all bareheaded. And it doesn't look... They don't have any pictures of it in like pieces.
Why don't you see if there is someone just selling, like, just get a Space Marine helmet and just fucking stick that on.
I've got a big pile of... I've got a box
bits.
Box of bits. Might have a helmeted head in there, or I should have a helmeted head in there.
I mean, at the worst, I've got some extra Deathguard heads that have helmets. I can try and see if there's one that's less like mutated. It might have like a horn or something sticking out of it, but that wouldn't be too bad.
No, it wouldn't be too bad. I mean, the Deathguard mostly used Mark III anyway, which is the same that the Iron Warriors are mostly depicted in using.
So I could probably fish out a head for you.
And the armor that this one is using looks like Mark III as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I could definitely. If worst comes to worst, I could definitely fish something out for you.
Yeah.
If you
yeah, I mean, gonna use that. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of kit bashing for this project, I think. So I want to do that for my Chaos Lord, and then his command squad will be, well, I say command squad, the squad that he's leading is going to be Chaos Chosen. But rather than using the Chaos Chosen kit, I'm thinking of using the Mark III Breacher siege squad.
Okay.
The ones with the shields, and then running the shields as a malefic weapon.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, okay, I quite like that idea.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's pretty dope actually for a unique sort of. It's that shield from I don't know what the animation's called, or they kill the Drukhari, where they all
Iron
lock
Within.
shoots and yeah, where that fucking shield locks and you got the bolter
Yeah,
slot to fire. Yeah, okay,
it,
yeah, they
it,
would look sick as chosen actually.
yeah, it would be that. Obviously, some of them will have. A couple of them will have combi weapons because you can get combi weapons in that squad. And then one of them will have their weapon replaced with a like sword or something, so that they can be runners having twin malefic weapons, going sword and board.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Um,
Did Chosen? I haven't actually run against Chaos Space Marines. I don't think anyone's run them against me. Chosen are the same size as normal Space Marines, aren't they? They're not
yes,
Terminators.
they're basically regular Space Marines with more gifts from
Chaos
Chaos.
packs to them. Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, okay. I think that would actually look really sick.
yeah. So gonna go with that for them. And obviously this special model for the leader. Um, the next one that I'm going to do, I'm just going to keep all of the things that I've currently got for, and that is my Warpsmith, who's called Graal, Grall.
Okay.
I was originally going to go with Grail, which would have been spelled Graal,
Oh, okay, yeah.
but then I thought people would think more about Grail Knights from like history, so I wanted a bit more chaosy name, so I went Graal.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I think it's a good choice. I mean, I don't hate either, but yeah, it does sound more chaosy.
Yeah. Um, he's the most trusted advisor for Romex. He's a warpsmith, as you know. And one thing I learned whilst building this force is that warpsmiths can be assigned to Havoc squads. They can lead Havoc squads.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So
Okay.
he's going to lead my Havoc squad.
I take it Warpsmiths do loads of shit to demon engines and stuff now still.
They still heal vehicles and monsters that are in your army.
Okay, yeah.
And if they're within 3 inches of a vehicle, they get lone operative.
Oh, they work like a tech priest, I think, at that.
Yeah.
Damn, okay. That's pretty good actually. Just looking up their abilities. Oh, they have 3 abilities. Lone operative. D3 lost runes. Oh, and +1 to hit on top of the hill.
Yeah.
Gee, okay, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
What enemy with it? Oh, and you can auto battle shot. You can force any vehicle within 12 feet to make a battle shot test. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, my Havoc squad is going to be the same one that you've been against several times now.
Yeah.
Through
Okay.
the
I mean,
auto.
Havocs are pretty decent, or
Yeah.
like massive chain guns and las cannons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So, yeah, it's 3 auto cannons, 1 las cannon, and a plasma pistol and chainsword.
Okay, just give some melee value.
Yeah.
Although does Warpsmith have? I assume he's got like a hammer or something.
My one has an axe, but I think the axe head fell off, and I can't find it anywhere. So I might glue the hammer head back on and run him with the hammer.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, might as well.
I don't know if it fell off or it's like currently snapped to a point where it's at an angle, and I need to like try and fix it or not. If it's completely broken off, I'll put the hammer head on because that's in my box of bits as well.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. Sounds good.
Next person in this list that I need to talk about is Dralax. He is my master of possessions.
Okay.
And he's leading a legionary squad and they're going to have that book, the Malefic Tome or whatever. Yeah, the book that makes them psychers as well.
I don't know what it does.
It literally just gives them a psychic attack.
Oh, okay.
It's like a shittier version of Smite. It
Does
used
it
to be
apply mortal wounds?
I don't think it does. I think it's just it's a
It's
psychic
just a psychic
attack.
attack. Yeah, okay. It doesn't. If it's just, is it just like a weapon profile?
It's just it's Balefire. The Balefire Tome is an 18-inch ballistic skill 3, strength 5, AP -1, damage 1, psychic attack.
What's it called?
A Balefire Tome. BALEFIRETOME.
Why is it? Is it under their gear?
Yeah, is that under their gear? Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's why I'm looking at it. I thought it was an enhancement. That's just
it's their like it's a special weapon.
You just get that for free though, don't you?
Yeah, you get it for free.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, cool. You also. Oh, cool. You also get a chaos icon with them.
Yeah, I believe I will have one on there as well.
Well, you get it for free, so you buy.
Yeah, you get it for free. I'm gonna have one
on
on pretty much every squad.
Yeah, so you get to re-roll dark packs, leadership test to dark packs. Damn. Okay.
What I will say is that up until now, everyone that I've mentioned has been Mark of Chaos Undivided.
Oh, really? You're to make it Iron Legion. You're going. Oh, Iron Warriors. You're going with
two of them are Chaos Undivided so far.
Do you have to pay to get a mark?
No, you don't have to pay to get a mark. In fact, you actually have to have a mark. You cannot have something without a mark. So yeah, these Romex and Graal are Chaos Undivided. Drelax is Mark of Tzeentch. And he's the one who's been pushing Romex to do this war.
Oh.
For obvious reasons.
So there might be some backstabby, long range bullshit, like long mind games in there. There might be some internal conflict. Okay.
There might be a plan in my head that the story of this will be that eventually Romex will become Mark of Tzeentch and then will become a Demon Prince of Tzeentch.
Ooh, interesting.
That's my plan for the lore, but whether that actually plays out throughout the campaign is.
I mean, you just need XP, so it shouldn't be too bad. It is like that. I don't know the 10th edition Crusade rules, but if it's anything like 9th, it's like the last thing. Though you need quite a lot of XP, don't you?
Probably, yeah. I'd have to properly look it up because I've got the Crusade books, but they didn't. Well, they're not both books yet. I haven't got the latest one.
Okay.
Which might have Chaos rules in it because Chaos turns up in it.
Is that the Necron one?
Yeah, that's the Necron one.
That's super interesting because there's a Necron Civil War going on. Stormlords usurped Ceric, which is super interesting.
The Imperium is involved, and it's mostly the Mechanicus.
Yep.
Necrons are having their civil war between the Silent King and what's his face, the Stormlord.
I can't remember his bloody first name. Yeah, but the Stormlord.
And then because of what the Mechanicus do, they accidentally summon Vashtor.
Oh, do they? Oh, is that because they keep having a nuclear arms race with the fucking
and
Necrons? They keep because everyone keep like the Necrons and the Mechanicus keep I say accidentally they keep just nuking each other with more ridiculous super weapons.
Yeah. So the Necrons are having their civil war, and the Mechanicus are like, why are they focusing on
sort of like Yeah, there.
The Mechanicus are like there, and they're like, why are they focusing on each other so much?
Well, I don't know if they. I
We
don't know if
want
the
them to
Mechanicus
focus.
actually know what's going on
They don't
because
know what's going. They
they keep fighting the Stormlord basically, and the Stormlords being Necrons and Necrons being OP in the lore keep absolutely beating the shit out of the Mechanicus. But then what's happening is they're like some of their forces when they go to fight of the Necrons suddenly teleport out and just disappear,
yeah.
and they're like, "What the fuck is happening? Why do they keep just teleporting out?" And that gives us a chance to win. This doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense. And it turns out he's teleporting them across the planet to fight Sarek and the Silent King.
Yeah.
And
It,
they're having and the Mechanicus are completely unaware of this.
yeah. It gets to the point where the Mechanicus are getting so annoyed that the Necrons are seemingly just like treating them like they're nothing. That they're just turning around and just going, well, if you're not going to focus on me, I'm going to bring out the big guns.
Yeah, like
And
I'm
like,
gonna throw out this thing
Belisarius
that's
Cool
like
is like,
basically a black hole.
yeah, Belisarius Cool is talking with his like leaders in the Crusade there, and he's like, don't bring out the big guns, just don't do it. And they're like, but they're ignoring us. And he's like, I mean, to be fair, that's kind of what we want them to do, so we can, kill them when they're not focusing.
And then his tech priests are like, "How about I do it anyway?"
Yeah,
Just fucking shoot shot.
and they keep coming out with these more and more esoteric, more and more powerful weapons, things that they don't understand and can't control. And then one of them destroys not only the Necrons but also the tech priest and his fleet that released it. Creates a sign in space that then summons Vashtor and Wormwood.
Oh, Caliban, basically.
Yeah, Caliban. Yeah,
Well,
Caliban reborn.
yeah, Caliban reborn. Oh no, the whole. Oh no, he brings heretic Caliban.
Yes.
Oh no, it's a whole demon world. Oh
Yes.
no, what a mistake.
The best part is though that like during this civil war between the Necrons are fighting each other like regular with their like regular weapons, and then the Mechanicus starts bringing out all these super weapons. So Sarek's like, well, if the humans are going to bring out super weapons, I will bring out super weapons. And the Stormlord's like, dude, the fuck. Our basic weapons are super weapons to them. You are being very dishonorable here by bringing out these super powerful
Yeah, I
weapons
did hear it
that
was.
they have absolutely nothing to do with. You have
I
broken the
can't remember.
rules. Like a bunch of the Pharaons that are under Sarek literally turn and just go, Stormlord, do you need help? Because he
Yeah,
breaks out these super weapons.
yeah, like I can't remember why. There's a certain amount of etiquette in Necron culture where you're not allowed to just bring out the super weapons. It's not seen as honourable,
Yeah.
and they don't usually do it against humans, no matter what.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the fuck Cole did. Cole did something specifically. I can't remember what it was that basically insulted Sarek so much. He was like, "Fuck you! These guys aren't honourable at all. They're not worth our time. They're dirt. Fuck them." And
Yeah.
that's when the fucking they all came out. But it's like taboo to do that
Yeah. And the
against the
Stormlord.
lesser species. And I can't remember what it was Core did. Core did some stupid thing.
Again, I don't believe it was cool. I believe it was one of his other leaders who he
It did.
specifically turned around and said to them, "Don't do that." And they went around and did it, and he's just like,
Yeah,
"Fuck's
they really
sake!"
did something, and I can't remember what it was, and it really just pissed the Silent King off. Like to the where he basically went, okay, usually we don't do war crimes, but fuck these guys. That was literally like, what he said.
Yeah,
I was like, what? I can't remember what it was.
yeah,
Yeah, like it's something so ridiculous. You literally push the buttons of this. This guy's been not only like I get that Necrons have been around for like millions a year, 35 million or something, but
yeah.
Zarek's been awake for
The
that
entire
long,
time. Yeah,
and he's also like not only done that, he's actually, unlike the Stormlord, has got respect for humans
Yeah,
to a certain degree. Like he absolutely respected the Blood Angels and that,
yeah,
and Dante specifically. That one time they're fighting Tyranids together, but he's the most understanding Necron so far towards like the other sentient creatures of the galaxy, and for him to be the first one to break out of him and the Stormlord, and the Stormlord, by the way, is like, fuck humanity, fuck everyone else, I'll kill them instantly. That's
yeah.
his, like, he just thinks they're insects. And Zarek is the one that literally turned around and fuck these guys. I'm like, what did you do?
Yeah, literally the Pariah Nexus. Well, now Pariah Nexi because there's several Pariah Nexuses now.
Oh, I think that's what they did. They fucking, so prior to Caliban or Wormwood or whatever you want to call it
Yeah.
coming up, that's what they blew up the fucking Blackstone, the Blackstone pillars.
Yes.
That's what they did, because that's why the Prior Nexus is so difficult, because it's a bunch of, it's like
It's a bunch of
absolute
activated
null zone.
Blackstone pillars
It's
create a null
meant
zone.
to stop chaos completely from that sector, and
Yeah.
they went around blowing them.
Yeah.
And then they've blown up so many that Vashtor's like, oh, I can manifest now. And there's a
Yeah.
nuclear arms race. I'm going to enjoy that. Fucking just
Yeah.
TP's in. And Zarek's like, look what you've done, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I'm so annoyed.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway,
Yeah.
back to...
Back to my other warrior. So I've got 3 more units that are part of this force. One of them I know you're not going to like when I reveal it, so I'll reveal that one last. I've written it down first. So first one I'm going to reveal is the Chaos Rhino, which rules purposes it is Mark of Chaos Undivided, so therefore Drelex cannot get in it.
Oh, yeah, because they changed that now. So
Because they
you have
changed
to have
it,
the same... Yeah, that actually didn't used to be when we were making this list. That was part of the changes that came out with the points when we were talking about making that list. You also got Chaos got massive. Chaos Space Marines got massively point nerfed as well. Massively.
Hence why my Crusade list of 1,000 points is literally 9 units, but when you're actually playing it, it's 6.
Yeah, I think some things were like, I think Chaos was way too heavily targeted. I think some things definitely needed to be pointed, like Chosen. Chosen were wrecking shit. Abaddon and his Terminators, absolutely insane. I think what also helps the Chosen as well is they would get certain marks, jump in a Rhino that they, it could be like a Nurgle Rhino that could then become untargetable with a stratagem and things, and jump out.
Nurgle Rhinos were basically tanky as fuck.
Well, they got lone op, didn't they?
Yeah,
there's a stratagem to give them lone op, but I think that's what the problem was.
I think that was the problem. And so you would put then a squad of Chaos Chosen with Mark of Khorne or whatever into that.
and then that couldn't be targeted. You could drive right up until you're the closest thing, get all the Khorne units out, and just go to town in melee, and it was super effective. So, but again, typical GW being heavy-handed, where they stopped that combo, which is fine. I think that's fine, stopping that combo, because it was strong. But then they were like, "Oh, yeah, Chosen it's way too powerful. Up the points on them as well." It's like, you've already done one thing. Like, just leave it at that, my guy. Like, one or the other.
I understand doing both, but doing both so harshly, like making Chaos Chosen that much more expensive.
Yeah, exactly. It was a big points increase as well. It wasn't like a small one.
If you were gonna increase the points that much, then maybe not do that. But then people would have found another way around it, or just run less, but then had the better squad. On the other hand, having them so that they had to be the same mark, that probably would have been. It probably wouldn't have been enough
That would
on
have
its
been.
own. I feel like
I-
if it half the points increase for Chaos Chosen and brought this in, it probably would have been a fair thing.
Yeah, I think it was just too heavy-handed.
But we won't know until we play. But I also found
yeah,
out. I also found out that Chaos Rhinos can carry 12 Legionaries in them.
yeah. So can pretty much all rhinos do. Mine do as well.
Obviously, that's so that you can have 2 5-man squads with 2 leaders. And
Yes, and also
it's not
I
just
can...
Legionaries, but any like regular Space Marines. So that's why Romex and his Chosen and Graal and his Havocs will be able to inhabit the same Rhino. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as for me, they basically, when Deathguard came out, they said that a squad of Plague Marines can take 2 Fetid Virion units, which are characters.
Oh yeah.
So like my Foul Blight's one, my Plague Medic or Plague Surgeon, things like that, you can take 2 on one squad to buff them.
Yeah.
And I think like that's why Plague Marines have gone up. Actually, my Plague Marines Plague Marines are really good, and they're my bread and butter. But they went up.
Yeah.
It's really weird that they went up. I don't know. I feel like maybe they did deserve to go up, but it was one of those things where I think Deathguard were at like a 50% rate. They weren't like breaking any ground. They were like perfectly placed.
Yeah.
So it was just weird nerfs, like points increases to stuff. The Plague Best Crawler jumped up like at 20 whole points each, which was basically to punish indirect fire. They've massively tried to punish indirect fire.
Yeah.
Which is sort of fair because it was a massive problem at the beginning of 10th. And now they just keep nerfing that.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily know if that's right. But then they've done weird things like my Death Shroud, which everyone takes because they're so good now. And the normal Terminators, Blightlord Terminators, are rubbish. But so everyone just takes Death Shroud because they're so good comparatively, right? They're so good that they've basically outperformed in performance-wise. They've just completely dominated the market. No one runs normal Terminators.
Yeah,
they got nerfed in points. They went down, and you're like,
oh. Wait,
what sense
they
does
cheaper
that make?
or more expensive now?
No, they're cheaper. They're cheap.
Yeah.
They got cheaper. Yeah, they're like, why?
More of your best and only unit.
Yeah, it's the best of the best unit, and they're so good they completely overshadow the other Terminator squad. So you never take them. They're so dominant.
Yeah,
and you made them cheaper, so that you'd pick them even more over the other. Like it just doesn't make any sense. Like you're just like, okay, yeah, it was a bit weird. Plague Marines I could sort of understand because they are strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just weird. So weird. I don't know. Anyway, your list. Otherwise, we'll never finish.
So the next thing on the list is my Venom Crawler, which I'm calling Mithralis.
Oh, okay.
Again, Chaos Undivided.
Yeah, I mean, Chaos Undivided isn't a bad pick. They get like an extra thing, don't they? When you do,
I think so. Each of them get a different thing. Obviously, my Master of Possessions and any psychic character cannot take Mark of Corn, but then why would you want to put Mark of Corn on it anyway?
Psycho, yeah. Do they get both? Do they get sustained and lethal on?
I don't have the rules on me right now, but
I have them. So let me have a look. Slave Stardust, Marks of... Oh, you get to reroll hit rolls of 1.
Yeah.
Which is still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Oh, and then it's either lethal hits or sustained in either fighting or shooting, depending on which god. Okay. Yeah. But you just get reroll hits of 1. Which is actually, I mean, you're hitting on 3s, generally, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, so Venom Crawler obviously has the standard loadout because you can't build it with anything else anyway. And now here's the contentious one. Here's the one that will have, I'm sure, some people out there You're going to call me that guy. You're going to say he's not going to be fun to play with. Just so you know, I'm not going to bring this out unless we are playing a full 1,000 point game.
Well, yeah, we'll probably increase anyway by then. So
Yeah, we'll have increased by then.
so we have.
I also know that you have a difficult time dealing with this model.
It's your Maul of Eden, isn't it?
No, it's my Helldrake.
Helldrake. Okay.
Which I'm calling Malaxi.
Helldrake Malaxi. I don't know if well.
You don't really have any dedicated anti-air, do you?
I have none.
Yeah. I know that Kat's got some weapons in what she's building that are anti-air weapons.
Well, you're saying that flyers are not as good anymore.
That's
just the truth of it.
I just want to run
it's
the Helldrake.
Absolutely fine because we're not.
It's an absolutely sick ass model, and I want to run it.
Model. Yeah, absolutely go for it. We're playing narrative. I've not built like perfect list.
Yeah.
It's just they. I'd have to look at it because the fly rules you can't have them in turn 1.
Yeah, they have to come on.
They have to come on turn 2.
Turn 2.
From reserves or something.
From reserves,
so you think they have to be like 6 inches away from the board, and then on turn 3 they can move. I think, which is what makes them suck because they don't really. They come in, they get deployed on turn 2, and then they can't move. I think till turn 3. I might be wrong on that, but would have to look at that. But yeah, it's a. The fly, I think they learned from 9th edition. Is it one again? They saw 9th edition. It was wrecking stuff, and so they've absolutely nerfed it.
I know that at the end of 9th edition, they brought in the new fly rules where it was it had to come in from a table edge on turn 2. I think it was a case of you could move it on turn 2, but it had to start at the edge of the board and then move.
Oh, maybe it still gets to move. I don't have any flyers. Like Deathguard don't have them. So
Deathguard don't have them.
So I don't know the flyer rules, but it's very rare I ever versus a player that's got a flyer these days. It is good though. Bale Flamers.
Yeah, well, obviously it's going to have the Bale Flamer because it's a dragon. It breathes fire.
Well, it just comes.
I don't understand why the default one is the machine gun. I know that it's arguably better, but the default option, I want the flamer because it's a dragon that breathes fire.
I just assumed it got both. Okay.
No, yeah, it's
one or the other.
One or the other, yeah. Because it's the thing that's inside the mouth.
Yeah, but I think you can get a Gatling gun inside the mouth. So that's like both are inside the mouth, but you can either have a dragon flamer or it can open its mouth and just strafe, which is it's also cool.
It can either be an A10 warthog or a dragon.
Yeah, basically. It's got anti-fly. I've never seen it. Well, I've seen it on missiles. But it's got anti-fly 2 up. It gets the +1 to hit, doesn't it?
Yeah. And because it's Chaos Undivided again, it can reroll ones on, making a pact.
So, I mean, I assume it's still -1 to hitting flyers. I'm not too sure that rule's still in here. I assume it is. Well, they don't have the flyer aircraft. So I assume they have the aircraft.
As far as I'm aware, the flying rules are that if you are in the supersonic mode, which why you would be out of the supersonic mode for most of the game for most things is beyond me. But if you're in supersonic mode, then you have the -1 to hit. If you then go into hover mode, you then have the it's just regular hit.
It's regular to hit. I think you have to go into the hover mode to make a charge. Is why you would do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you just want to run around using the flamer, like you wouldn't do that. You would just go around flaming stuff on max speed.
I mean, the Helldrake, the only reason you would go into horror mode to do a charge is to charge another flyer because it's literally designed to take on flyers.
Yeah, it's literally just peels
It,
flies out the
I,
sky
yeah,
because you would ignore the -1 to hit because you get a +1 to hit. So
yeah,
then just be back to hitting on twos, re-rolling ones to hit, and then you've got anti-aircraft 2, which means you're wounding on twos.
yeah.
So yeah, it's with how many attacks you got? 5 attacks in melee.
And to be fair, most other flyers are not that well armored or
Yeah,
that
I
they're
would
not
like
that
another
tanky
bit
because
of
they get that
AP.
-1 to hit, don't they?
Yeah, but it's also death wound. So if you roll a 6 to wound,
Yeah.
oh, just death wound and I don't think it works anymore. Yeah, yeah, you'd have to roll 6 to hit, a hit
Yeah.
6 to wound. But that means so if you get a death wound, what death wounds are is it goes through invulnerable saves.
Yeah.
It just goes through all their saves. They can't save it. They have to just take unless they got feel no pain, which an
Yeah.
aircraft's not going to get.
No, exactly.
But yeah, because I tell you what was why Eldar was so bullshit at the beginning was they didn't clarify the anti rule.
Yeah.
So they had anti and dev rules, so everyone was playing it that um, if you rolled like a 4 up, let's say it was anti on a 4 up, they were going, oh, that's dev wound. And when
Uh,
it was like flat 6 damage by guy. It was like flat 6
yeah.
dev wounds. Like flat 6 you can't save. It's like,
Uh,
and they could just. The thing is, they can also still just. They did change that pretty quickly, but then they have fate dice where they can just go, oh, that dice is a 6 now.
yeah.
And they can still do that, but there was no limit on how many dice they could say, like they could claim as a 6 in a
Yeah.
turn. Like the sisters one is easier to get more dice to roll,
Yeah.
but they were like their one is you can only use it once per phase.
Yeah.
But they didn't clarify that with Eldar for some fucking reason, and it was just like flat. I'm going to choose that to wound on a 6. That's flat 6 dev wounds. You're dead.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna like if you were like, oh, I've got like Mortarion who's got 14 points. He's like, okay, I'll just use 3 of them. He's instantly dead.
Yeah.
It was like it was so stupid. It was just the dumbest thing.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my list. There is a little bit more lore that I want to go over for this particular warband.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
So obviously, as I said, this campaign is taking place during the Arcs of Omen campaign. We're using 10th edition rules just because they're the rules that are available to us now. I mean, we could use 9th edition, but what's the point? I want to try something new.
Plus,
Cat,
yeah, it'd be easier for Cat to learn
yeah, it'd be
because
easier for Cat to
10th is a
learn
lot
10th
more
edition.
streamlined.
Yeah.
Ninth edition had so many rules, and remember, it was
Yes.
just an amateur.
It. I don't think we ever played a game where one of us didn't forget rules in 9th edition.
Yeah, there was so much. And then Crusade has even more rules
Yeah.
because then you're upgrading stuff, and then they get like specific abilities per unit. You got to remember which unit has which bloody rule on it, and
Yeah.
if that rule pops in what certain, you just oh Christ, it's just it was so much. But yeah, like 10th will be so much easier. Have you picked up the data cards?
No, not yet. I need to, but then I've got the app on my phone, so I can.
Oh, if you got the app, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I can just use that.
Yeah, otherwise, like grab the data cards because they're, especially the Space Marine ones, because the Codex just came out, so their cards are pretty up to date.
Yeah.
Well, all of them should be up to date. I don't think there's been any major rule changes. But yeah, they're like it might just be an easier thing to look through, and you might also be able to, if you wanted to, write on the card when you level up to give write your abilities on there.
Yeah. I mean, I've
Just a
got
thought.
they sold a Crusade planner at one point.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, this was the 9th edition one, so I don't know whether it's still up to
Okay.
date with the 10th edition stuff, but I do own one of those somewhere.
Okay,
So
okay.
we could use that to track ours, or I could get a second one, or if they do a new one, then buy two of those. Yeah,
Yeah,
as I was
okay.
saying, as it's taking place during the Arcs of Omen campaign, my Chaos Space Marines turn up into the Scourge Stars.
Scourge Stars.
Yeah, Scourge Stars. I did get it right this time.
You did get it right, yep. Scourge Stars.
With an Arc of Omen.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I'm working with someone to make an animation of the Iron Warriors turning up with their Arc of Omen, but
Okay, that's cool.
I'm having difficulty, and I need your help. You're getting you know, renditions of Nurgle's spaceships,
Oh,
because
okay.
there's only one picture that I know that is canon,
The Terminus S.
and that's Terminus Est.
Yeah, they're all sort of like it though, where they're living
Yeah,
things. So yeah, I'm surprised there's not like, more artwork on it.
that's the only one that I know of, and you search Deathguard ships, and it's the only picture that I've seen so far.
And that does suck.
But yeah, so they have an Arc of Omen, and the name of this Arc of Omen is Herald of Transition,
Okay.
because Herald of Change would have been too on the nose.
Oh, there's a good fucking. Okay. That's dope as fuck.
So they have been given a mission by Abaddon, hence why they've got the Arc of Omen, which is to recover a key fragment from the Scourge Stars.
Okay, yep, makes sense.
Obviously, they have their own secondary objective, which is revenge for the war of Frost and Ruin, because they were there. They saw what happened.
Yep.
And quite frankly, they would feel that the Deathguard deserve it.
Yep, that's probably you probably deserved.
And I have written down what the key fragment is, because I am thinking of buying the bit to make it a objective marker for one like late in the campaign game. Is they won't know that they're looking for this, because none of them actually know what the fragment is that they're looking for until they find it. But this one would be a Dark Angels Legion Contemptor Dreadnought torso.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
So
floating about.
Yeah, I mean, it would be like, half buried in the swamp somewhere, so I'd be able to make some sort of like diorama of it.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, so here for revenge, some Zinchi bullshit, and the Contemptor Dreadnought.
Yeah, just the torso of it as well. Like the arms and legs have long since been either looted by the Death Guard, or destroyed, or removed by
yeah, but the arms and legs aren't the hard bit to make, to be fair.
Exactly.
It's the sarcophagus and all that stuff that's difficult.
And I do believe they're also difficult to, clean out and put a new one in.
They're not
Especially
too
if
bad.
they've been, on a Nurgle corrupted world.
Well, the thing is, the Scourge Stars have newly been taken over.
Yeah, that's true.
They were Imperial, so it could be an Imperial chassis.
It would have been an Imperial chassis that
The Death Guard just haven't seen and looted yet.
Yeah, either haven't seen or looted yet. Only looted the arms and legs because they don't have the technology to do the rest of it. Or
Yeah, I would say that, especially Deathguard, they don't have, unlike, they're complete opposites of the Iron Warriors, because they've lost so much technical understanding, the Deathguard.
yeah,
Because it's all like just organic now.
yeah,
Like even their old rhinos and stuff, it works because Nurgle wills it, not because they know what the fuck they're doing. Like
yeah,
it just happens to work after all these years, and that's why they really do steal gear, and the only thing that really have that they can create are demon engines of Nurgle.
yeah,
Because they like it's not science, they can just dump a fucking Nurgle demon in some vague machine-looking thing.
yeah,
So yeah, they really do. If they saw a Contemptor Dreadnought, that's not active, they're like, I don't know how to fix this. They probably would just leave it.
yeah. But yeah, so it probably will, date back to the Great Crusade,
Yeah,
because obviously, assuming the Dark Angels were involved in pacifying that part of the world at some point,
okay.
a Legion Contemptor was in somehow either destroyed or damaged to the point where
Recalled
it
and
wasn't
yeah,
able to be extracted.
yeah, it was damaged. The it could be something. It's 4K. It was damaged. The Contemptor was like left there. The guy was still alive and probably just like literally starved to death through
Yeah.
like non-maintenance or something, and he's the corpse is still in there, um, and yeah, it's still just sat there the entire time. No one's touched
I
it.
mean, we do know of stories of dreadnoughts that have just been left and have gone mad because they've had to be alive the entire time, awake. I
Yeah,
mean, one such story, which is a character that everyone loves, is the Ancient of Rights. He was half
he
mad by
didn't.
the time that the Fulgrim and the Thousand Sons found him.
Was he that mad?
I mean, he managed to find a way to shut himself down for long periods to keep himself somewhat sane, but he was still somewhat mad.
Was he? Because I think
He
he
he admits that he's gone a bit mad because he doesn't even believe that these Thousand Sons there are real, and he doesn't acknowledge the passage of time.
oh shit, okay.
He
But
knows it's been
because
a long time.
he knows that they're lying as well, because he can
He,
automatically he has an
yeah,
ability to like see through lies.
yeah. But
Um,
it's not that he knows that they're lying. He knows that they're evading telling him the truth.
yeah, because
Because
yeah,
he asked them two questions and they only answered the one.
yeah, they were definitely trying to dodge stuff. But it was
Yeah,
I think it was mentioned maybe by Fulcrum or something that, or maybe it was in a different, I don't know, it was mentioned somewhere that he has like the innate ability to like tell if someone's lying.
yeah,
Um, that I think that's why the Thousand Sons also try to dodge his question rather than outright
yeah,
lie, because they're like, this dude absolutely will just see through lies.
yeah.
So yeah, it's
The,
quite funny.
the funniest part about that is that they know that he can do that before they even try to lie to him and before they even know who he is.
Yeah.
They just go, he's the Astartes, he'll know that we're lying, so we're just gonna avoid the question entirely and just go, the Thousand
We don't know
Sons
what you're
endure.
Yeah. Are they loyal? We're still around.
Yeah.
What?
Are you still loyal? Uh, have you fallen, or are you still around? And are you still loyal? We're still around. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, well, that's fucking obvious because you're here talking to me.
Yeah.
What side are you on? I mean,
Uh,
we kind of do our own thing.
yeah.
we're not up to much to say. We were just looking to see what the beacon was. That doesn't answer. I was asking the question. Yeah, what about the beacon then?
Yeah. What's it speaking then? Why are we seeing this like beautiful landscape and we turn up here and it's all dust and ruins?
Yeah, what is this place? There's a psychic presence here, and oh, are you good? We might just go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thousands just trying to tiptoe around.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, why is there not an Alpha Legion? Is anyone here an Alpha Legion? Please tell me one of us is pretending.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, it does sound good. Sounds like you got your list.
Yeah.
You're heading with a fucking goddamn pretty much Ark of the fucking Covenant towards me.
Yeah.
Um
Okay, so to be fair, this is a opportunity that if you like win a lot of the games, that you could end up with an Arc of Omen in Deathguard possession.
that is true.
Because we do know that certain Arcs of Omen have switched hands and certain ones have been destroyed.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. I think the Death Guard are really just like, okay, we've just got rid of the demons. Like, we've just fought a Khorne. We've just claimed this world back. Right, now's the time to really recruit and get like our shit together. Oh my god, there's an Ark of Omen.
It's like my plan for the animation is that Imperial and Death Guard forces are already in a space battle against each other, and then a warp rift opens. The Ark of Omen comes out and just starts decimating both sides.
I see. I think the Death Guard are already on the back foot.
Yeah,
That's why they're starting off small. Their warband's like, dude, we've just cleansed demons. We've just taken this world. We had to fucking. We were part of the bloody goddamn plague wars and had to hightail it back to
yeah.
deal with this. We've just dealt with this. We've taken some losses. It's time to regroup and
Yeah.
rebuild. Oh no, the Imperium's here. We've got to deal with that. Oh my god, the Iron Warriors are here, and there's a fucking Ark of Omen. Like, oh my god, Nurgle will preserve us. They are coming.
What I would love to see is if this animation goes the way that I want it to, is that the Ark of Omen is coming out of the warp rift and just like bisects an Imperial ship. just with the prow alone.
Like, we need to leave.
Whilst it's still half in the warp rift.
Yeah.
Because they're that big.
There's is it Battlefront Gothic where there's the have you seen the animation where the orcs do it? But they're obviously they do it to them fucking selves because they're orcs. Like they're like going along and a bigger ship comes out of the warp and just crashes into a smaller one, and then it just jettisons it into the capital ship and it just blows up because it's like hitting a wall. And the second orc ship's like, whatever, just carries on driving like nothing's happened. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm liking that. Yeah, definitely going to be on the back foot to like home territory, but the Imperium is here.
Home field advantage. Home field advantage, but two-prong war and Ark of Omen. But
yes,
potentially could eventually be your Ark of Omen.
it could be. I don't think the Death Guard is in the position to be like, I'm going to take that though. They're like, oh my god.
Not at the start of the campaign. Not at the start of the campaign, no.
But maybe not at the end of it. It depends how it goes.
It depends how it goes. We may have to make a engagement where you're fighting through the ship to steal it. Or
maybe. That's an end game scenario.
Or we may be doing a engagement where I'm storming through the swamps to finally kill and destroy your warband.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Imperium is literally just setting everything on fire.
Yeah. Or it could be that Cat is doing either one of those or both.
I imagine the first thing the Imperium is going to do is bring the Promethean, brother. Just flamers going off, just burning everything. It's like, okay, cool.
Well, we'll talk
Dark
about
moments
the
here.
we'll talk about the Imperium when we get to them.
Yes, yes. Have you figured out what sort of army you would like to run?
No, not really.
Okay.
To be honest,
Like,
I haven't understood the word that you two have said for them since about half an hour in, so.
neither has anyone else. That's not 40k.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's. I mean, lore is sort of deep. We're very deep.
That's
in
an
lore, aren't we?
understatement. Jesus Christ! Like the lore it's fun, but it is a journey.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's be honest here. Like you and I, Diesel. If we're talking about how deep we are in the lore in terms of like swimming pools, Charlotte's like in the shallow end, like the kiddie shallow end where it's like ankle deep, and then
yeah,
we're like at the bottom of the
I think we're
Mariana
free
stretch.
diving. I think we're free diving. Like we're just like 200 meters down. Like this is all right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's fair enough. It honestly just depends on playstyle. So,
Yeah, I mean, we will find out. I mean, we've got the Dark Angels Combat Patrol for Cat for her first kit that she built, and she's built it all now, haven't you?
Yep, just need to paint it.
Yeah, I just need to paint
oh,
it.
damn.
Next one we're
Damn.
going to buy is the not the Dark Angel, our Blood Angels Combat Patrol to get the bits from that as well.
Okay.
So, but I feel that those two together do make a fairly well-rounded force.
They should do, yeah. Like you have plenty of Marines and stuff.
And then I think to make up the 1,000 points, we just needed one more unit, which I've chosen Devastators for, but we'll get to that when we get to it.
Yeah, exactly. You can just pick up the odd thing that you want to round the points up. It's like the odd model. It's not the odd squad.
Or we could take our leaders and give them the enhancements.
Oh yeah, you can buff them enhancements
To
depending on what
do that
faction you want. Yeah, okay. But yeah. Cool, if you got stuff together. Yeah, well. The Iron Warriors are coming full force, as always, because they don't know any better.
I mean, we are masters of the siege.
Don't know any other way than.
Look.
Well, you're not going to do an Abbey and ram something into the planet, are you?
Unfortunately, I don't have access to a Blackstone Fortress to ram into a planet, but also I need to grab something from the planet before I destroy it.
True, yeah, there is that. You need to find it and grab it before you can blow this place. Because I don't imagine the Iron Warriors care that much about taking the world.
Yeah.
They're just like, I just want this thing.
We need this thing to hold up our bargain with Abaddon.
Abaddon,